Mike folks. Today we have a very interesting looking nonlinear differential equation of the second order, and this was shared to me by my good friend and student Charlie. So we're interested in solving y double prime plus beta over y squared equal to alpha over y cubed, where alpha and beta are non-zero parameters. Okay, cool. So the first thing you'll notice is that the x variable is missing explicitly. So we could invoke the transformation that is letting y prime equal u to reduce the order of the differential equation. But this implies that y double prime equals du over dx, which would introduce a differential equation essentially in three variables. That is x, y, and u, which is far from ideal. So we'll invoke the chain rule and write this as du over dy times dy over dx. And because we know that dy over dx is just our u variable, so that gives us y double prime is equal to u times du over dy. Terribly sorry about that. So our new differential equation is u times du over dy equal to alpha times y to the minus 3 minus beta times, terribly sorry about that, y to the minus 2, which is clearly a separable differential equation in u and y. So this implies on integrating with respect to y, that is, we have the integral of u times du over dy equal to the integral of alpha times y to the minus 3 minus beta times y to the minus 2 dy. So this means we have u squared over 2 on the left-hand side, and on the right we have alpha times y to the minus 2 over minus 2, terribly sorry about that, minus beta times y to the minus 1 over minus 1 plus a constant of integration c. And of course I could expand by 2, and that yields u squared equal to, let's see, that's negative alpha times y to the minus 2, two negatives canceling out, and we have 2 times beta times y to the minus 1 plus 2c, and the 2 can just be absorbed into a constant of integration. Okay, cool. Of course, we need to take square roots, so we have u here equal to plus or minus root negative alpha y squared plus 2 beta y to the minus 1, and this is actually y to the minus 2 plus c, and of course we know that u is dy over dx. So this gives us yet another separable differential equation in x and y. So this means we can write dy over, I'll ignore the plus and minus signs for now because we can track them fairly easily. So we have negative alpha y to the minus 2 plus 2 beta y to the minus 1 plus a constant c equal to dx, and on integrating we have x plus b on the right hand side, and on the left we have this cool looking integral. So x plus b here equals the integral of dy over, I could expand using y, in other words root y squared, which would yield a nicer looking expression in the square root. So by that token, we have my OCD kicking in, and that gives us cy squared plus 2 beta times y minus alpha. Okay, cool. That looks fine and dandy. I mean, we have a linear term, square root of a quadratic term in the denominator, so this should be straightforward. I would have liked if I would have a 2c term next to the y, and for that I'll expand using 1 over 2c as well. And I would actually quite like if I also had a 2 times beta term as well, so I can invoke the power rule for integration. So I'll expand using 2 beta and negative 2 beta. So on invoking the linearity of the integration operator, we have 1 over 2c times the integral of 2cy plus 2 beta, terribly sorry about that, over, again terribly sorry about that, root cy squared plus 2 beta y minus alpha, I gotta take care of those negative signs, minus 2 beta over 2c, with the 2's canceling out, the integral of dy over root cy squared plus 2 beta minus alpha, and I should probably scroll up a bit now. Okay, cool. So for the first integral, all I need to do is invoke the power rule, like I said. So we have cy squared plus 2 beta y minus alpha to negative 1/2 plus 1 is supposed to be 1/2. We'll divide exactly by 1/2, get rid of the factor of 1/2 over there, minus beta over c times an interesting looking integral that I will save for later, that is I sub 1. So that implies that the target integral was in fact equal to x plus b. So x plus b here equals 1 over c times root cy squared plus 2 beta y minus alpha. And we have minus beta over c times a new target integral I sub 1. Now I sub 1 is just a 1 over square root of quadratic type integral. So we can solve this fairly easily by completing the square. Now, of course, this solution that I'm talking about it's valid for the case of c being non-zero. So I should probably specify up here that we're considering the c equal to, or the c being non-zero case, and I'll treat the c equal to 0 case later. So I sub 1 is all of this junk, and I'm looking forward to expanding or completing the square. Let me just factor out this 1 over root c term. So I have integral of dy over y squared plus 2 times beta over c times y minus alpha over c. And already this looks promising because I have that 2 times the cross term. So y squared plus 2 beta over c times y minus alpha over c should sort out to y plus beta over c whole thing squared minus alpha over c minus beta squared over c squared, which of course I can factor out the minus 1 term. And this implies that I sub 1 is now equal to 1 over root c times the integral of dy over root y plus beta over c whole thing squared minus this thing over here, which is alpha over c plus beta squared over c squared, which I could simplify, but I'll save that for later. What we have here is an arc-sinh function. I mean, you could use trigonometric functions. A secant would suffice, but I think the inverse hyperbolic functions should be shown some love from time to time. So this thing sorts out to the arc cosh as an inverse hyperbolic cosine of what exactly? Oh yeah, all of this junk. That is y plus beta over c over the square root of this other term. That is alpha over c plus beta squared over c squared, which I would really like to simplify now. And this sorts out to, let's see, c times y plus beta all times 1 over c. And then in the denominator, we do in fact have a 1 over c term there as well because of the LCM of c squared, square root meaning 1 over c. And what do we got? Alpha c plus beta squared, which does look pretty cool. So I have some lovely cancellation taking place, and this implies that I sub 1 equals this gnarly looking expression, 1 over c times the arc cosh of beta plus c times y over root, terribly sorry about that, alpha c plus beta squared. So that was I sub 1, but I forgot the expression we were trying to evaluate. Oh yeah, beta over c times I sub 1, and we can factor out a 1 over c term, which does look nice, I guess. So this implies that x plus b, and I do recall there being some plus or minus sign that was with the integral. So there's a plus minus 1 over c times, what exactly? I forget. Oh yeah, there was the square root. So the square root, terribly sorry about that again, cy squared plus 2 beta y minus alpha plus beta over root c is still there, and we have this arc cosh of beta plus c times y over, I need a bit more writing space, the square root, terribly sorry about that, of alpha c plus beta squared. Okay, cool. And of course we we could verify that this does indeed solve our differential equation by differentiating this, and that is left as an exercise to the viewer, in particular my good friend Zunaid Parker, who will probably comment about differentiating it. So before he does that, this is assigned as an exercise to my dear friend. Like I said, there was a different case, and that different case was for c being equal to 0. And before we get to that case, I just checked my notes. It turns out that there's supposed to be a negative sign over here, and now it's all good. So if c is equal to 0, then we can just get rid of this term, but I can still expand using the root of y squared, which yields the integral. Terribly sorry about that. Terribly sorry about that again. Wait, why is this slipping along a bit? So this is dy over, what exactly? Oh yeah, y times dy, that is, times a 2 times beta y term minus an alpha term. So this looks like a considerably simplified version of the above. I could expand using 1 over 2 beta because I would like a 2 beta term with my y term over there. I'd also like an alpha and hence a negative alpha over root 2 beta y minus alpha. And the benefit of all of those algebraic acrobatics is that I have some cancellation plus a relatively simple integral, rather two very simple integrals to evaluate. We have 1 over 2 beta times the integral of 2 beta y minus alpha over the same thing in square root. So that means it is root 2 beta y minus alpha d alpha on invoking the linearity of the integration operator plus alpha over 2 beta, terribly sorry about that, times the integral of dy over root 2 beta y minus alpha. So these integrals just need some power rules. So we have 2 beta y minus alpha over, rather this is raised to the 3 halves, over 3 halves multiplied by, we will need the derivative of this bad boy down here. So that's going to be a 2 beta term, and expand, yeah, that's all good. Plus alpha over 2 beta, terribly sorry about that. I'll just rewrite the whole thing. My other student and good friend Chris is often annoyed by the way I write alphas and proportionality signs. And of course, exponentially annoyed when whatever I'm writing involves alphas being proportional to something. So we have, what exactly? Oh yeah, 2 beta y minus alpha to the 1/2 over 1/2 times, again, 2 times beta. There is some cancellation taking place with the factors of 1/2 and all that kind of jazz. And I see that we can factor out 1 over 2, no wait, the 2 was gone, but there's still 2 over there. Okay, so that's 1 over 2 beta squared could be factored out. Terribly sorry about that. And we're left with 1/3 of all of this junk, and I could factor some of that out, but would it really be necessary? I guess so. I mean, why not? So we have root 2 beta y minus alpha, and that leaves a linear term times 1/3 here, so 2 beta y minus alpha, and from here we just have alpha left. So we should have negative 1/3 plus 1 is 2/3. So we are left with 2 beta squared times the square root of 2 beta y minus alpha, all being multiplied by 2/3 of beta times y minus, or rather plus 2/3 of alpha. So I could factor out the 2/3, but that leaves behind a 1/3 factor. So I am in fact left with beta y minus alpha, provided I did not make any algebraic errors. And this is of course equal to x plus b. There was a plus or minus sign involved, and we are all good. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and drop me a follow on Instagram as well for more mathematics content. Thank you. See you next time.